This is Ryan Elliott for ID Boxing. With me, world title challenger David Light. David, welcome over to the UK. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks, man.
That's good to hear. Now, obviously, you got good memories of coming over to the UK in your amateur career. You won Commonwealth Silver in Glasgow. Nice to come back.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I thought I was going to be fighting back in the same arena, but it's moved to Manchester. But yeah, it's good to be back.
Well, we've got you here today and to introduce you a bit more to the UK audience. I was hoping firstly you could tell us a bit about why it was that you started boxing, a big sporting culture over there, but why was it boxing?
I was just something because I got seven siblings. My brother he used to have a lot of street fights, and then he ended up getting into boxing, and it was just something I never thought I could do. He was doing it. I saw one of his fights, and I thought it was incredible. And then he took me out in the backyard and slapped me under a bit, and then he gave me some pads, and that's how I just sort of caught the bug from that.
You mentioned getting the bug. How quickly after, you started from there, did you know that this was something you were very good at or something you wanted to pursue on a long-term basis?
Uh, well, not really. I always really enjoyed it, but I think my dad was trying to get me into something else because I was playing tennis. I was playing like 4 hours a day of tennis for a lot of my earlier, like 11 to 14 or something, and then I was rubbish at it, so I finally gave it up. Went back to the boxing gym, and then yeah, it just took off from there.
When it did take off and you started studying the sport a bit more, who were your kind of boxing idols? Who did you look up to when you were coming through?
It's kind of funny. I was like I started off like a lot of people do, like just watching all of Mike Tyson's and David Tua because he was a New Zealander and he was they're like the biggest knockout guys, and I thought I wanted to be like them. But as time went on, I was looking around at different fighters because I was never going to be like those guys. um, and yeah, I've a lot of love for James Toney. I think he's incredible, and I can just watch that guy like hours and hours on end. So yeah, he's one of my favorite boxers.
Absolutely. Now, let's come on to the world title shot. You've had Lawrence Okolie in your sights for a while now. You've been in and around the WBO rankings for a while. What have you made of his career so far? What have you made of his rise to the top?
Um, he's earned it, and he's I think he's proven that he didn't just wasn't just like a one shot kind of guy. He's held it for a few years now, so he knows what he's up to. He knows what he's doing. But yeah, he's I think he's got a lot of physical attributes that have been helped him stay there. So we've got to negate those things.
I'm sure you've done plenty of studying. We know he can punch. He can be really awkward at times. But is there anything you've seen that you think he doesn't do so well?
Um, yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot, but I might just hold that to myself for now.
I don't blame you for that much. So Lawrence has obviously joined up with Sugar Hill Stewart. We've seen what he's brought to certain fights like Tyson Fury, for example, that Kronk style. Are you expecting a bit of a stylistic shift from him going into this fight?
um, I don't really know, but I don't think that he's got enough time, really. I think Tyson Fury is a special case. Um, and I think Lawrence Okolie, he's kind of proving that he thinks that he knows best by, the way he's doing stuff. It's not knocking him or anything, but it's just, and so Sugar Hill's a good cornerman or whatever, but I don't know how much it's really going to change.
You'll be aware that you're coming into this fight as an underdog, but that is nothing new to you. The Brandon Glanton fight, I think he was a 3-1 favorite going into that fight. How much does a fight like that, where you've came through a good, exciting fight, you survived that last round knockdown, prepare you for something like this? Was that just a massive box tick, the final hurdle before this fight?
Yeah, I mean, bro, I come from New Zealand, it's we're always going to be the underdog no matter where we go. Even if you fight properly, us in New Zealand are probably going to be the underdog. But that's where I like, that's where I'm comfortable now. Pretty much the last 3, 4 times I've been the underdog. I've fought twice in Florida. Everyone just expects me to get smashed, but that's kind of what I like because it means that the pressure's on the other guy to do the smashing. So it's you weather that and you get through it, and you're all right.
Speaking of those two fights in the States, the Martinez fight and the Glanton fight, two fights that you came through and we mentioned those boxes ticked, but do you enjoy going away soil and being the underdog? Do you enjoy that role?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, you get these guys talking about a bunch of crap about you, which is, I've done that. I've put out. I'm the youngest of 8 kids, and I got four pretty wild brothers. So it's like I've grown up and I'm used to it. So that's what I like. Yeah.
Going back to the Glanton fight and that that surviving that last round knockdown, in your head, is that a point you can't really prepare yourself for in the gym, but knowing that you can come through that a tough moment in a competitive fight, got to be such a mental boost to you knowing that you've got that there now, you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was sweet with it. I mean, I kind of knew that no matter what, that knockdown wasn't really going to change much of the fight. It was going to add 1 point in the last round, so it wasn't worrying me that much. But yeah, looking at that fight, he didn't have a single judge if you didn't count the knockdown, which I thought was basically a bullcrap knockdown anyway. But a single one of his hometown judges thought he won the fight. So yeah, I was pretty I was happy with it. Yeah, and it's given me a big boost coming into this fight.
A lot of fighters like to manifest and visualize things. How much have you thought about, and how often do you think about what that feeling would be like of being able to take that world title on the plane home?
Yeah, you think about it a lot, but you don't let yourself get carried away with it. You think about I do a lot of visualization, but it's mainly of the fight, and anything beyond after the fight is just it could go either way, and I just, as far as I'm concerned, I die right when the fight ends. There's just no future beyond that at the moment, but when it comes, you deal with it.
Earlier in his career, Lawrence had a reputation for sometimes not being in the most exciting of fights. When he was coming through, that's changed a bit as he's developed, but still be awkward at times. It seems to go one with the other. It's either very exciting or it can be incredibly awkward. How do you see this fight gelling style wise?
Um, I hope it's exciting. I hope there's a lot of punches. I like fighting, I love fighting. So that's what I want. I want a good fight where we're throwing a lot of punches and we're not holding, but it just seems to me that it's the job of the ref to make sure that it's a good fight. And if the ref does his job, then it will be a good fight.
Right, David, I'm going to leave the final message to you for everyone at home getting behind you ahead of your voyage to the UK for a shot at the Cruiserweight World title. What would you like to say to them?
I just stoked at all the, especially from my home, all the people who've got behind me, and everyone's going to watch the fight. I want it to be a cracker, and I'm really just glad that people are watching and supporting.
Right, David, thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.